Hello and welcome back to another amazing interview. We have another amazing guest lined up for today's session. And it's the session of the another session of the Unstoppable Mumpreneurs Telesummit. And it's where mumpreneurs, regardless of where they are in their journey, can discover how to overcome any obstacle, learning the habits, strategies, and insider secrets they'll need to do that. And so they can earn an amazing income doing what they love. Our guest today is Jenny Garrett. Now, Jenny is as amazing as any of the Mumpreneurs experts that you would have listened to over the last few days. I'll tell you a little bit more about her, and you'll learn even more as we go through our session here today. Now, Jenny Garrett is an award-winning coach with over 10 years experience in running a global business. Her mission is to transform the world one empowered woman at a time. She uses her years of experience in coaching and leadership to inspire and motivate people, working with them to deliver career and life-changing results beyond expectation. Jenny has written an Amazon best-selling book, Rocking Your Role, on the taboo subject of female breadwinners. She has reached an audience of over 30,000 through her speaking engagements, including a TEDx talk, and coached individuals all over the globe from Australia to Botswana, the US, Mexico, Spain, and the UK, with over 3,000 coaching hours under her belt. Jenny gives back through advisory board memberships and her social enterprise, Rocking Your Teens. Fantastic. Her most recent clients include MasterCard, EY, and Mace Macro. Jenny is regularly asked for expert opinion in the media and has featured in BBC Radio 4 Woman's Hour, The Telegraph, Sky News, and Glamour Magazine. A client recently described Jenny as a yoga stretch for the career. Jenny's work is characterized by having depth and personalization and meaning, or some would say soul. See her videos, Would You Follow You, and the trailer for her book, Rocking Your Role, and that is on Jenny's website, which we'll give some more information on. Jenny, welcome to this Telesummit.
Thank you so much. I'm really delighted that you invited me. And I look forward to imparting the knowledge I have and experience that I have over the number of years I've been working for myself.
Fantastic. That will be most welcome. Great. So let's start with the first question that I've been asking all the moms so far. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself, Jenny, your children or child, and what has your journey to becoming a mompreneur been like? If you can tell us about that briefly, and actually what made you decide to start your own business?
Okay, thank you. Well, really, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I've been married for about 16 years now. So, that's sort of my family life, and I live just north of London in Hertfordshire. It really interestingly, I didn't intend to run my own business at all. It had never crossed my mind. There were no business people in the family. Everyone had sort of stable jobs, teaching or, doing jobs for other people. And so it was not something I grew up wanting to do or thought about. I wasn't the child in the playground selling sweets for money and starting a global empire at the age of 5. What really happened was actually a life change around having a child. When I was on maternity leave, I asked to go back to my role part-time, and they refused at that time. I had my daughter when I was 30, so yeah, and so that's 15 years ago. Organizations weren't so great with women. I mean, there's still a long way to go now, but it was worse then.
Yes,
so
yeah.
They didn't let me go back to work part-time, and I just thought the commute for me meant that I would never see my family, never see my child if I had chosen to stay there. So that wasn't what I was looking for. So I actually got a job much closer to home, about 15 minutes away at one of the leading business schools. I was really lucky to get this role. And at that time I worked in marketing. So I continued working in marketing, was sort of building my way up, and a colleague who's now a good friend came into my office one day and just said, "Where next?" Are you going to start maybe training people in marketing on some of our leadership programs? Maybe you should get a bigger budget and a bigger team and go start working in London. And neither of those things appealed to me. I didn't want to have a long commute in terms of my work-life balance, and I didn't see myself standing up in front of groups of people training, even though that's something I do all the time now. At the time I wasn't confident to do that. And they said, what about coaching? She said, you do coach faculty. They come into your office, they come away with action and motivated, you know, you're coaching them. And I thought, oh, maybe I could go on a coaching course, see if I like it, something else to put on my CV, you know, there's nothing to lose. And I went on this coaching program and I found it personally and professionally transformational. It just made me look at the world very differently. And I thought, I want to coach. I don't want to do marketing. This is what I want to do. So I went back to my organization and said, oh, please, you know, can I have a full-time job here as a coach? And they said, no, it would only ever be part-time. You could do bits in your job, but, you know, we want you as a marketer. And so I got a coach myself, and through my coaching decided to go down to 4 days a week, and on the 5th day see if I could actually get, you know, earn a living coaching, see if I really did like coaching. I set myself a target. If I could earn the same amount in my 1 day that I did in the 4 days, then I wouldn't be taking a leap. I'd just be taking a step into starting my own business. And did this, and within a year I was freelance, and yeah, that's over 11 years ago now, and the business has grown. But I just really want to maybe say, you know, being an entrepreneur chose me. I didn't necessarily choose it. I wasn't the person who always wanted to run a business. It was about lifestyle, and it was about really wanting to coach people and finding that was the only way that I could really fulfill the career I wanted.
That's actually quite powerful. And you spoke to something there that I've heard from several of the Mumpreneurs who've been on the Telesummit so far, and it's that the arrival of our children was that turning point, and it was the same for me.
Yeah,
it was the same for me. I had our daughter at 44, and you know, I went back to work after maternity leave, and it wasn't where my soul was at. It also wasn't the most pleasant time in the economy, with the, you know, recession and all that, and massive redundancies, and you know, I was made redundant not too long after. But yeah, and I like a bit about, you know, being an entrepreneur, entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship chose you. It's not something that you always set out to do that, and that's just another way it happens, and that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, I just want to say you look amazing. Gosh, if you had your daughter at 44, you look fantastic.
Bless you.
Let me know your beauty secrets.
Oh, bless you. She keeps me active. I think that's it. If there's anything. Thank you. All right. So, what were some of the challenges you faced in the early days of running your business, Jenny, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think one of the first things is when you're used to working in an organization and being part of a team, and you start off on your own, it can be quite lonely. And I did feel quite isolated and thinking, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Just sitting here waiting for the phone to call. Am I doing the right things? You know, and also working from home. My husband would come home and he'd just look at me as if maybe I'd been watching the TV all day, or you know. And I used to have to just say to him, I've been working, you know, that's why I'm just, you know, we're doing the dinner now, or washing hasn't been done, because when I'm at home, I'm working, I'm not doing housework.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was one of the first things. And in terms of the isolation element, I really had to find a network. I had to find the right people who, and you know, I'm a person who's kind of a bit of a make things happen kind of person. So I actually created a network locally.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a jelly. And I don't know if you've heard the concept of a jelly before.
No.
It's an American thing where freelancers got together and they just have jelly beans in someone's living room and bring their laptops and work together for a day, once a week or once a month, just to feel that they were working together. So I created one in my local area. A community centre let us have the space for free. And I sent out messages saying, you know, if you're starting a business or started a business and you just want to work with other people and not feel alone, one day a month, come here. And it was really great because with, you know, there's little things that you just want to ask someone. You know, if you're in an office, you'd turn your head and say, oh, you know, do you know about this? You know, do you know how to do this on Word or something like that? And there's no one to ask when you're at home working.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah, we just ask ourselves those little questions, or we'd share, and we'd also share how we were getting on with our businesses.
Yes, yes.
Support each other. And I ran that for about a year or so until really I got too busy to be able to actually continue to lead it. But that was a really great and supportive space. And I definitely think if you can't find the network that you need, make it. You know, there'll always be people who are attracted to you.
Absolutely.
At the time that works for you, all of those.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was my first challenge. I think another challenge was charging, you know, actually charging the right amount, knowing what price to set myself at, and being, you know, brave enough to ask for what I was worth. A while to get there. And to realize that, I think one of the things when you're running your own business is to realize that you don't get to do the thing you love 100% of the time. You know, if you're a coach, a trainer, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, maybe 30% of your time is spent doing the thing you love. You might have to do your marketing, your administration, you know, whatever it is, networking.
Yeah.
A lot of your time, you know, around 70% of your time is spent not doing that thing. So when you're charging, if you only charge to be, you know, if you only charge a small amount, and that's only going to take, you know, you can only use 30% of your time, you're not going to earn enough money. You know, I charge my hourly rate and think, oh gosh, you know, only 30% of my time is actually going to be paid. Then 70% of the time, that means, you know, I'm only earning a third of my salary that I should be earning. So you need to charge enough, and you need to charge enough to pay for the marketing, to pay for your admin, to pay for your accounts to be done, you know, and to make sure you've got the space and time to do a good job. So, you know, most people, and I have clients, I end up helping them triple their rates because then they're not charging enough realistically for the work they're doing. But it took me a while to get there, and I think I just had to keep pushing myself and you know, take a deep breath and actually say, yeah, this is how much I charge, this is how much I earn. And slowly I crept it up, and that's what I've done over time. I didn't do it instantly, but I kind of stepped up bit by bit, start charging what was a realistic figure. And you know, if you don't do that, you go out of business very quickly. Yeah,
absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Live otherwise. Yeah.
No, because there's no backup really. You know, you get into business and it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, the bit you spoke about here, all of it being very, very poignant. The bit you spoke about not charging what you're worth. Yeah. Something, it's an affliction of sorts. Yeah. I'm afraid to say that a lot of women have. A lot of women have. And again, it's we're people pleasers, and we don't want to put anyone's noses out of joint. You know, if they collapse after we say what our rates are or something like that. But you're right, though. You're right. If we don't take all these things into consideration, we will be out of business.
Absolutely. And then you'll be serving no one.
You'll be serving no one.
Yeah. I think the idea is, you know, most of the time why we don't want to charge is we're thinking we love our work. We love we'd do it for free. Yes, we would. But if you charge enough, you can give back.
That's right.
And you're in a position where you can actually give back and do work, and you can do charitable work. You can support other people. If you haven't been able to support yourself first, you can't even do the good work. So
absolutely true. Absolutely true. Great. And so you spoke about those early challenges. You know, the loneliness, the isolation, the need to interact with people. You know. On a similar mission, and you know, like-minded people, and of course charging your worth. Now, what are some of the challenges that come up for you even now? Yes, where you're more established, and how do you manage those challenges?
Yeah, I think time is probably my biggest thing that I've always been working on, making sure I have the time to do everything I want to do. and managing my diary effectively. And still saying no sometimes can be a challenge to doing things. So I think, I try to be quite strict with myself. I've created some rules. I get invited to a lot of events, and my rule is maximum 2 evenings a week out of my home. So if it extends past that, I'm saying no. So in order to kind of get the time I need and the balance I need, I've done a lot of that sort of creating rules and criteria, and that's really helped me. And I had a mentor who helped me with that. Particularly the saying no. She said, well, if you set some criteria for yourself and some rules, then actually you can look at your rules when you're saying no and say, well, that doesn't fit with that. So although I'd love to help you, actually these are my rules that mean that I can do the job. And that means then I can turn down if someone asks me to do a talk that is not quite right for me, even though it would be nice to do it for them. I can say, well, these are my criteria now. And in the same way with events, I can say I'm full up. I've got my 2 nights out this week, and I just can't make it. So creating rules for myself have been a really helpful thing to do, I think. And in terms of time management, actually, something that I try to stick to is try to have block off particular days of the week where I've sort of said, gosh, my diary's quite full here. That means that day's got to be my back to me time, so that I don't have just completely flat out all the time. I have times where it's just, consolidation, catch up on things, that sort of thing. So I block times out in my diary, and that's really effective. And something else that I do is put prep time in, something that I didn't do before. Just, I have, because I do quite a lot of training, I'd have the training days, but I wouldn't have my preparation days in there. And so I actually put in preparation time. So I'm realistic about how much time I actually have. And
that's come with experience.
Absolutely.
Journey.
If I didn't do that, I was working all night basically trying to it wasn't, because I hadn't put it in the diary. So it was, when am I going to fit this in? And it's not healthy. It is not. When as I was listening to you here, I was reminded of a few things. And one of the first things that came to mind when you spoke about the rules you created for yourself and the things you will not do. There's a brilliant book, The Perfect Day by Craig Valentine. He's Canadian. And I kind of recommend that book more. I've listened to it God knows how many times now, and every time I do, I hear something new, but it is rock solid, wholesome advice and encouragement. And he talks about creating rules for yourself, and he talks also in amongst the creating rules for yourself. You have a list of things. We always have covered our to-do list for the day. And he says you should also have a not to-do list. The things I will not do. And that sounds very similar to, one of your rules here. I will not have more than 2 evenings out per week. Because I think once we have it there, once it's written, we've sort of set out our stall, haven't we? Absolutely.
Yes, and we're more inclined to look and listen and
stick to it. I think it really helps. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know about him. I'll look his book.
I really, and to our listeners as well, I really strongly recommend that book. It's The Perfect Day by Craig Valentine. Have a look. All right, so working as you do with clients, I'm sure you have women in your clientele as well. What's the and mompreneurs in particular, but what's the number one obstacle you see that holds most mompreneurs back? And what advice would you offer mompreneurs listening here to us and watching us? What advice would you offer to help them overcome that obstacle?
It's a tough one to say what's the number one, because I can think of a number, but I'd say that people often come to me who want to kind of lift their head above the parapet. It's sort of yeah, I want to go into social media. Yeah, I want people to know who I am, but I'm also scared of people knowing who I am. So, you know, I know that I have to market myself and my product in order to get customers, but I don't want to, because what if people criticize me? What if they don't like it? You know, what if I do something wrong? So, you know, it's that sense of a bit of perfectionism, but also it's also just actually, am I showing off? You know, if I talk about my product, if I talk about myself and my services, am I showing off? And I think that does hold us back if that's what we're thinking about. And I think a lot of bumpreneurs are scared of doing that. You know, they'll have perfectly great services and products, but they're not sharing it and they're not telling anyone about it. Won't like it or will criticize them for it, or say, oh gosh, you know, like in the playground, you think you're better than us, don't you? They're holding on to that. And you know, for me, the advice, you know, the fact is not everyone will like you or your product. So what? You know, the fact that if you don't, you know, actually put it out there, no one will ever get it. And the people who are right for it will like it. You know, there's Heinz beans and there's lots of other brands of beans. Some people love Heinz, some people love other brands. You know, Heinz don't get upset about the ones who like other brands. And, you know, that's just how it is. We can all be out there. But if you don't put your beans out there, no one's going to buy them. And you just have to do that. And so, you know, a lot of the work I do is helping women feel confident enough to do that. If I write a blog, maybe no one's going to look at it, or maybe no one's going to like it, you know, those sorts of things. Well, if you don't write the blog, definitely no one's going to ever know what you're about. Put it out there, keep putting your message out there, share who you are, share your product and services. It's a way to grow and develop. So yeah, I think that's a key area for women, you know. Not wanting to actually share who they are and share what they're about or share what they have to offer. And I think if you don't do that, you can't progress.
And a brilliant piece of advice there as well. Thank you for sharing that, Jenny. Because I think as women, we're very concerned with perception and other people's perception.
Yes.
And it all goes in there with the people-pleasing tendency that we tend, you know, we're actually socialized to have from cradle to grave, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, I do like that. Not everyone will like you or what you put out there, and that is okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that is okay. There's a big piece as well that speaks to you know, sometimes I think it's taking things personally. And it's a hard one. It's a very, very hard one. It's meshed with all sorts of things, but it's something we have to learn to do as women and women in business. To not take things. You know, what is it? I read somewhere. Toughen your skin, but soften your heart.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and sometimes you get feedback. It's not really about you; it's about the person.
Absolutely.
It's really not about you. A friend of mine, Ola, I remember she said to me, I wrote my book about 3 years ago now, and she said, you know, and I got, you know, it was doing very well, and she said to me, "Have you started getting hate mail yet?" And I said, I remember saying, no, I haven't had hate mail specifically. And she said to me, unless you've got hate mail, you're not successful. Expect some hate in there. And I think it's interesting, you know, it's an interesting thing that, you know, if people have comments and people have thoughts, and it's mostly not about you, but, you know, some people won't agree with you, just like you won't agree with everyone. And that's just life.
That's just life. That's just life, and it's okay. It is okay.
Right. I remember. I just to say, I went to a networking event quite a few years ago, and I met a woman there, and she said, "I'm oh goodness, when someone dresses you, they make sure a stylist." She said, "I'm a stylist, and I'm the best damn stylist you'll ever meet." I remember her saying that. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I was quite taken aback, thinking, wow, this seems like you're really, you know, got a big head, and you know, who do you think you are saying this to me? But it's always stood in my mind. And you know, actually, if I was that sort of person who was going to a stylist, maybe I'd go to her, because in my mind. So don't be afraid to kind of be brazen and you know, shout about what you do, and it sticks with people. You know, people
It does.
you're good at what you do and what you do. You might not say it in those words, but you know, I think it's a really good thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, it speaks about confidence as well.
Yeah.
You know? And all these years later, you can't forget her.
Exactly.
Great. All right. So, do you believe, Jenny, that anyone can become a successful, and I should say holistically successful, mompreneur?
Yes, I absolutely believe that anyone can be a holistically successful entrepreneur, whatever success looks like for them. But you know, I definitely think the success and being good at what you do comes from knowing your why. You know, why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? How am I connected with what I'm doing? What difference does it make? You know, I think if you don't find that, if you don't know why you're getting up in the morning, you don't know why you're doing the thing that you're doing, I don't think you can be really successful. There has to be that real connection to it. But once you have it, once you know what you're really working hard for, what, you know, the difference that you plan to make as a result of your product or service, you know, and you feel so passionately about it, then you can make it a success with consistency and perseverance and focus. It doesn't come without hard work.
Listen, thank you. I'm so pleased you spoke about that. It's one of those things that's come up in several of the interviews I've had on this summit so far, and just about everyone has said it is not easy. And you know, after a while, I've been saying to myself, goodness, I hope, you know, I'm not putting, or we and the experts aren't putting women off going into business. But at the same time, women thinking of, you know, starting their own businesses, or those already in them, need to hear the truth. It is highly rewarding, and that's beyond monetary value. Few things can be as rewarding, but to get to the reward, it takes hard work.
Absolutely.
You spoke about the why, and I thought to myself, you know, I'm sure, and perhaps on a different level, but definitely happens with you as well. It's your why that keeps you going.
Yes, absolutely.
I remember this morning I got up at 4. I get up early anyway. I'm a 5 o'clock riser, but I was up at 4 because I wanted to get some extra bits in there. And it started raining around 5:30, and I tell you, the rain took me right back to that Caribbean early morning shower.
Yes.
I can just fall back into bed, you know, and enjoy this. But no, it was my why. It was my why I'm doing this. Going. So we need a strong, compelling why. A very clear one. Very clear.
Absolutely.
I agree. Great. Thank you. Now, work life. Okay.
Sorry, there's a motorbike going on.
Okay, it's real life. Okay. Which do you tend to lean more towards? Work-life balance? Do you believe that's achievable, or is it more of a blend?
It's both for me. Sometimes I blend work and life, and so my daughter will come to my talks, and you know, I'll be watching the TV and doing a few emails, but so sometimes I'll do that, but generally I'm a work-life balance person.
Okay.
I really do need time away from work, and I need real breaks away to sort of refresh and replenish and feel good. So for me, although I do a bit of work-life blend, work-life balance is what I'm about. I've just come back from 3 weeks break, and I really take a break. And I try to have real breaks from work regularly where I completely switch off. And I find when I come back, I'm just, you know, I'm better, I'm energized, I'm refueled to keep going.
Good.
It's about that balance rather than blend, actually.
Okay, great. That's fine too.
I'm sorry, this motorbike's going. I think there's someone going around on a scooter, going around in circles. Hopefully he won't be back, but
that's all right.
A tiny bit ajar, that's why you can hear.
That's okay. Don't worry about it at all. We're fine. All right. you spoke about your 14 I feel
Yes.
yes, earlier on, your 14-year-old daughter
Mm.
attending events with you. I think that's
Mm.
absolutely brilliant.
Mm.
So I'm going to ask the obvious here. What impact do you think being a mompreneur has had on your daughter?
Yeah, I think definitely as a teenager, I won't know what impact, because teenagers are very much, they take everything in their stride, and it's like not that interesting. So I definitely think the highlight of my daughter coming to my talks experience was, we went to a talk in a university once, and they actually, for some reason, they had bottles of sparkling wine that they were opening and giving to the audience while I had my talk on. Just, I think it was just a nice event. And my daughter was sitting at the back, and because it was a little bit darkened in the sort of theatre, they offered her a glass of sparkling wine, and and she went to take it, and I had to say, no, she's too young. And that's the story she most tells about her coming to the talk. I nearly got some alcohol. But yeah, I think she does. She's empowered and inspired, and I think she hears the message that she can do anything. And also, when I wrote my book, one of the women said about being a female breadwinner, she said, I'm showing my children how to go out into the world. And I think how to go out into the world. She's a confident orator. She does youth parliament and youth commission work, and she's a great speaker. And I think she's seen, well, mum can do it. Anyone must be able to then, and grasped it with both hands. She's a great speaker and a great reader, actually, as well. So, yeah, she's a confident young woman. But I think at the age of 14, everything mum and dad does is just, it's just them, they're old. What do they know about anything? I think a bit like me, until I was 30 and I had my child, did I realise what it means to be a mum. And suddenly I was ringing my mum saying, oh, I'm sorry, I was a terrible teenager. Oh my gosh, I think I'm waiting for that, whenever she has her own family, if that's what she wishes for, then I look forward to the call, and I don't get it at the moment.
Bless you. But you've said some amazing things here, quite powerful as well. My daughter's 7, so not anywhere near the teenage stage yet. But you talk about that being empowered and inspired, and I know even at 7 she's very confident and very, very articulate as well. I know now I don't know whether what I see her getting from me so far is, I've been saying on the summit, is having her little to-do book out, when I'm thinking of my to-do list for the week, and she has a little to-do bit but I really do believe that our children, both girls and boys, or young women and young men, they do pick up certain things along the way. Seeds get planted. Seeds get planted, and even if it might be hard to tell what sort of real impact it's having in their teens in particular, I think later on.
Yes.
It's there for them to draw on, and I think with girls, there's definitely that message that, I have choice.
Yes. Oh, I'm very sorry.
All right?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I've got choice available to me. I can go the entrepreneurial route, or I can go the, academic route, or anywhere in between, or both.
Yes.
So yes, I do believe that, and I think as well for young men, I think it's quite empowering to see, mom doing this.
Yes. I truly hope so.
yeah. Of course we do. Right, then we're down to our final one now. What would you say is the number one habit, the number one strategy, and the number one insider secret that's been responsible for the success that you now enjoy and sustain?
Yes, yeah. Okay, the number one secret. I think definitely it's about building a strong network of people. I think your network, they say your network is your network.
Yeah.
And the network I've built and the networking I've done has been really invaluable to me. People by people, and you never know who the people you meet know. And I've been very fortunate that people have recommended me on and to other people, and that's how my client base and my contracts have all built really on that reputation.
Sorry, that's my phone there. I shall move it where it's not as loud. Okay, sorry about that.
That's fine. Yeah, so that network has been key, absolutely key to my success, and I'm very thankful. And giving to your network, not just asking anyway, as just a generalization, but we're good at giving and not necessarily so good at asking, but giving and asking, not just giving but asking too, and being in a sort of network where you can say, actually, I'd love to meet someone who works there. Do you know anyone? Or, whatever it is, I'd love to be introduced to a buyer somewhere. Do you know anyone? And having that kind of network where you support and reciprocate and know that there's not competition, there's space enough for everyone.
Absolutely. Yes.
There's a lovely quote that I always share, which is, I'm not better than the rest, but I know I'm different to the rest. Yeah,
I like that.
And I think that's what it is. Recognizing your difference, your uniqueness. That doesn't mean you have to feel that you're better than anyone else.
I'm not better than the rest.
Yeah, I'm different to the rest. Yeah,
I'm different.
Yeah,
Like that.
Yeah,
great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so that embracing that. So I think that's the secret. That network. I think that is the way, to grow your business and develop, what you're doing, and find the contacts that you need, the mentors, the support, everything.
Great. All comes out of that. Sort of wraps it all together for you.
Yeah.
Mentors and support. Fantastic.
So you said a strategy.
Yeah.
I think self-care is a real strategy. It changes from time to time what my self-care strategy is, whether that's, as I said, I try to have days where I'm just in the office to kind of catch up, whether that's meditation in the mornings or doing exercise. But I do alternate it at different times. It's different things, but I try to have time for me. It's really easy to burn yourself out as an entrepreneur, as a mumpreneur particularly, because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to look after the children. You may have a partner and you've got a business. It's like you've got so many babies and you may be looking after elderly relatives as well. There's a lot that can be pulling you in different directions, and there's often a lot of guilt associated with that. Maybe I'm not giving enough to the business, I'm not giving enough to my partner, I'm not giving enough to the kids, and so what you end up doing is giving nothing to you. Very, very much like they say on an airplane, put your mask on first before you help others. It's key to look after yourself. Once you're full of energy, healthy, you've had enough sleep, then you've got the energy to give. But if you give to everyone else and nothing to you, then actually that's the true selfish act. Because if you might not be around in a few years' time if you try to live like that. You need to be able to be around for a long time to help and serve others. So self-care is key. And it could look like just a nice bath, a bubble bath in the evening, a walk at lunchtime, whatever. It doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but building self-care into your life, I think, is really key for mumpreneurs.
Absolutely. Great. We got your secret and habit, and strategy. Now your habit.
My habit. What's my habit? I think you mentioned the to-dos. I think it's really about being focused and giving time to things. I think that's my habit. So I will actually use a tool called Freedom. I have a Mac. So there's a tool called Freedom, and what I do is I use it to stop me going onto the internet. So you use it, and it bars you from going onto the internet for periods of time. You can say for 30 minutes, for an hour, for half a day. And what I'll do is I'll have something I want to work on. So say I'm writing a talk. I've got a TED talk coming up in October, and I need to have focus time to work on it. I'll put freedom on and say, I'm giving myself an hour to work on this. And for me, that's a really good habit that I've got into, which stops multitasking, and it stops me losing focus. So I'll have a quick look on Twitter, and I'll look on, Google something. Next thing, you've kind of completely lost your focus on what you're doing. So I use it quite a lot to just get me there, get me to that place where this is my focus. I can be in flow. I can, it's a habit to get myself into flow so I can do the work I need to do.
Brilliant. And that's who it's called. Is it an app?
It's an app called Freedom.
Freedom. I've not heard of it before.
Yes.
Ladies, if you need freedom,
yes,
do take note of that. And I hope you've been taking notes. I forgot to say at the top of this interview to please be taking notes, but it's something I've been saying throughout. So I think our listeners know the drill, I do hope, because I do believe in taking notes. There's always something new that you're learning. And Jenny, you've shared such an amazing amount of truly, truly valuable nuggets here that, I thought it was worth capturing. And I thank you. I really do thank you for everything you've imparted here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cheryl, and for the good work you're doing and the supporting women. I'm sure people get a huge amount from this summit.
I really, really believe they will. Thank you. So that's it. For Jenny being our guest today. Thank you again, Jenny, for being on here. And to our listeners, please come back. We've got more amazing, real, successful, very successful women entrepreneurs on our summit. So look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, and bye.
Thank you. I was going to share my rocking audio.
Oh, sorry, that's right. How could I have forgotten? It's critical. Come back, people. We're not going anywhere yet.
So I have 7 days of 3-minute audios that are delivered to your mailbox, on a daily basis at 6 a.m. every day. And it's called the Rocking Audio Boost. And they're on various topics, from developing your confidence and your courage to actually having an attitude of gratitude. They're really perfect. People who have them say, oh, it's been wonderful waking up and listening to my 3-minute voice just once every day for a week. If you're looking for a boost, if you're looking to be energized, if you're looking to kickstart a new way of engaging with your life, then it's a really good actual audio boost for you. So I'd encourage your listeners to go on to jennygarrett.global.
Right.
And on that front page, they'll see they can just sign up and they'll get it from the next morning.
Fantastic. So that's jennygarrett.global.
Yes.
And that's where you get the Rocking Audio Boost.
That's
7 days, 3 minutes.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Everybody can spare 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Even first thing in the morning, okay?
Yeah.
Get your day set up and started right. Jenny, that's a very generous gift. Thank you very much for offering that to our listeners. And I hope you get in there and get it. I know I will. Okay, you can never have too much boost.
No.
Okay. Of this kind, especially. So thank you, my proper thank you now. And lovely speaking with you. And I know we'll keep in touch.
Yes, definitely.
All right then. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.